Hello. Great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us today for another coaching session. We've got a bit of a timely training today. There's lots of other great trainings you can watch on replay, stuff about what does a day-to-day experience look like in the system? How do I set up a new lead campaign? Actually, we might touch on that one a little bit, but what we're talking about today is a timely one. We're recording this early January 2025, and our goal is to always keep you guys up to date on some of the changes that actually affect you, whether it's on the technology and marketing side or, of course, on the compliance side. That's a whole game of itself to catch up on. And fortunately, we've got some great people keeping us in the know. But Alex on the marketing side is kind of the point person who says, hey, here's some changes that are coming down the pipes and affect us today or this month, actually. So some of you already are being affected who are watching this, replay people, of course, as well. But we're talking about some of the meta changes. My goodness, there's so many changes. Let's just recap. We've got FCC, A2P, CMS. What are some of the other acronyms? Or Meta? Meta's not an acronym, but this is ad changes. So kind of FCC land marketing, but talk to us, Alex, what we're going to cover today and why is this important?
Yeah. So for insurance, one of the most effective ways to generate leads has been using the Meta platform. Meta uses Facebook, Instagram, and other websites that embed their ads. And really up until now, we have been able to run ads the way that everybody else does, right? So an e-commerce company and an insurance agent have the same level of the same amount of different levers that you can pull, and you have all the tools available to you, which is great. Unfortunately, Meta has decided to make a huge change, which we will have to adjust to. And so they're putting all insurance related ads, and they're saying that you now have to advertise as a special category. So what the heck does a special category mean? Let me go into it. So first, it's all about
I want to share.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just share for context, because some of you're not quite in the ad space yet, but maybe you're working with a lead partner like Cody Askins, where they do offer compliant, FCC compliant leads. That's a whole other conversation we might touch on, one-to-one consent. But the point is that wherever leads come from, it's going to impact you, and probably cost is going to be a one impact of that Alex will talk about. But this really is relevant for anyone who is doing lead generation. Maybe we'll just quickly recap some of the lead generation options, and then we'll dive into the changes. How does that sound, Alex?
Yeah,
I just want to give some context, because you're going to dive a little deeper, and this is really a big deal because it's a new bar for businesses to reach. We've talked in the last video in December about how, it's getting tougher. There are new bars. Put on your big boy pants, put on your big girl pants, get used to it, because other people are going to fall off the bus, but you're going to stick on because you have grit and determination. And there's going to be maybe for those that to the victor go the spoils. So those who have the grit and determination, like our users, that is what's going to help us overcome some of those hurdles.
This is a waste of my time, God.
Our options here, let me just see, I'm kind of jumping around. We do have a lead generation service. We do not do leads without you. We do leads with you. By that, I mean, we hold your hand, we help you. It's not on that page. Let's go to marketing. Our lead generation service is called Marketing Plus. It is actually a second tier. So you either have Agent CRM basic subscription or you have the Marketing Plus subscription. And that is going to give you access to a bunch of cool things like an ad launching tool. We make ad launching easier. We've got pre-tested ads. I'll show you that in a second.
Where are the...
Looks like we're having some issues here with some audio. Christopher, I think that's an issue on your end. Try rejoining the Zoom room if you're having trouble here. And Alex, can you type that in the chat as well? All right. Pre-tested ad library, Monday to Friday ad review sessions. So we really want to get ads right with you. It's not just launch something and keep your fingers crossed, hope for the best. It's actually, let's dial it in and let's find out what is going to make this ad sparkle and shine in the meta ad space. One-to-one launching an ad, onboarding, and then a few other goodies. So that's where we hold your hand. We work with you. This is the tool here, AdBase. You launch a new campaign on Facebook. We might come back into this as Alex is taking the wheel again. But you're going to say, I want to launch an ACA ad. You click the ad, you make some modifications, and then you launch it into Metaspace. So that's our option for generating leads. Yep. Super excited about the results. Aga and Ali are two of the review people. We've got a whole team that helps launch, but super proud of our team for rocking it with lead generation. And then the other one, if you go to extras, get leads. We do have our friends from Kaboom Leads and Lead Heroes. They know how to get leads into your system, and they know how to generate them in a compliant way. So those are just the options. I'm just giving you some context so you can see what's available. But what we really want to discuss is what is happening on the meta end. Because whether you're with Kaboom Leads, whether you're with Lead Heroes, I think they do Facebook generation as well, or whether you work with us, it doesn't matter. These changes impact you because they're generated through, again, these are launching to Facebook. So what's happening, Alex, on the Facebook side that's going to impact lead generation in 2025?
Yeah, so you did a great job of kind of summing up how to generate leads. Are you going to buy them? Are you going to generate them on your own? And no matter what, whether you're generating them for yourself or you're buying them from someone who is generating them and guaranteeing them, the lead cost is going to go up. And here's why. Prior to December, all of the different tools and levers that Meta offered were available to insurance agents, but now we are restricted. We have to play in a much smaller playground when it comes to the tools that Meta has. And Meta used to say you can take your ads and you can show them to you can show them to a specific age range. You can narrow them based on their interests. And so if you were marketing for Medicare, you could only show ads to people who were 64 years old. And you could even get more specific based on, whether they've been looking for Medicare.gov. Like you could really narrow this down, which is great. And then for final expense, that final expense insurance is a product that is marketed to people who are 50 years and older. And so when you had a final expense ad, you wanted to get really specific on who was seeing that ad so that you made sure that the lead was qualified. However, now, if you were to picture the entire Facebook audience as a bullseye, you used to be able to just focus on your teeny tiny, that inner red circle. Now you have to have your ad literally show to every single person in the Facebook audience, and then use the Facebook algorithm to narrow down who sees it. What do I mean by the Facebook algorithm? I mean that when you first launch your ad, it will be seen by everybody, which means that if you are running an ad for final expense, unfortunately, you cannot narrow that ad down so that it is only seen by people 50 years and older. 18-year-olds are going to start seeing your ads for final expense insurance. And let's be honest, Will, that kind of sucks, right? Because now your ad is being shown to people who have absolutely no reason to buy final expense insurance, right? And so,
or Medicare, right?
Yeah, or Medicare. I mean, it's
useless.
Honestly,
you feel like you're wasting money.
Yeah, it's kind of a disaster. If we can just speak truthfully, this is going to be a mess. However, there are ways to make sure that your ads do convert and do generate leads at a good rate, but it will require more patience from insurance agents who start running their own ads. And it will require more patience because we'll need the algorithm itself to narrow down who sees the ad. And so, one of the things that we did, we saw this happening, and we went to work. And myself, our copywriter, our graphics team, we went through our ads library and we just started making changes to the existing ads that were out there. We got really specific on the copy that shows up above the graphics. We took out graphics that we feel are just no longer going to work. We modified ad copy. I mean, we went literally page by page, ad by ad, graphic by graphic, modifying the ads that are inside of our ad-based library for the purpose of making it so that the only people that respond to the ad, because I can no longer control who sees the ad. I can do my best to control who responds. And so we wanted to get specific on a call out. Yeah.
Let's just take a moment to say, you know what, Facebook, they're not idiots. Like they want to make money still. And so these changes are in some ways devastating, but the same way there is mechanisms, which Alex is talking about, the algorithm specifically, to get your ads to people who care about your ads. Now, we'll get a little bit deeper into the minutia of what's happening and how to optimize that. But the point is that ads are still going to work in 2025. It's just a different tactic that we have to try. And maybe expectations need to be managed as well. But the point is Facebook wants your money. Facebook wants our money, and they're definitely getting enough of it. So they're going to find a way to make sure that we are happy with the product, their advertising services, as possible. So understanding how do I dance around these changes, it totally sucks. Like I'm going to waste a little bit of money sending a Medicare ad to someone who's 18. That's stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the new process, the new way that we want to strategize is understanding that as your ad gets out there, if you've done the right things, which we're going to talk about, as your ad gets out there, Facebook's going to detect who is engaging. And while you can't target a 64 or 65-year-old, Facebook is going to say, oh, it looks like people who are 64 or 65 plus are clicking on your ad. Let's send your ad to those people more often. So you didn't get to make that choice, but the algorithm made that choice for you. So it might take a little bit longer for it to get to its intended audience. I'm assuming, not being the ads guy myself, Alex, that the learning phase might take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Tell us.
Yeah, for those of you who are like, learning phase, what's going on? So when you first launch a meta ad, what happens is, like for this one right here, this is one of our very best performing ads that we have now, and it's going to continue to do really well, Will, because it's so targeted. So even though an 18-year-old is going to see this, just look at the copy right away. It says, almost 65, let me do the work for you, right? Now, if you're an 18-year-old seeing this, you're going to ignore it because you're not almost 65, right? But if you are around 65 years old, this is speaking directly to you. And so this ad is going to continue to work really well. The next one over with the 65 birthday cake, amazing ad. These just do so well for our clients, and they're going to continue to do well and will continue to perform. But when you launch it, so let's say you're a brand new agent, you've just joined Agent CRM, you've joined Marketing Plus, and you're like, okay, I want to start generating Medicare leads, and you launch these ads. Initially, it will show to every single person. You cannot narrow it down by age. And unfortunately, so this ad is going to go out to everybody. And then Facebook is going to start to recognize a pattern of people who respond to the ad. And that pattern is going to show Facebook, hey, it looks like people, 62, 63, 64 years old are responding more to this ad. So we want this insurance agent who's spending money on Facebook ads to get more conversions with this ad. And so we are going to narrow the audience for the ad based on the commonality of the people that are filling out this lead form, right? And so now Facebook is going to say, okay, this ad is going to everybody because it's under a special category, to then going, well, wait a second, based on who's responding to this ad, let's narrow this audience so that we get more conversions for our ads client, the insurance agent. And so that is how we are going to win in this system. That's how we're going to win in 2025 and beyond. We're going to get really specific on who the ad is for, and then we're going to let the algorithm do the work from there. And so as somebody who is advertising, so you're an insurance agent, you want to generate Medicare leads, before these changes, you would say, I only want this ad showing to people who are 64 years old. Unfortunately, you no longer have that option. So now you launch the ad, you got to be a little patient, and then Facebook will start to narrow this further and further and further down the road. So I do anticipate that the first 30 days of running an ad you're going to get some unqualified leads, and your lead volume might be a little slower than normal. And honestly, again, that's terrible. And so keep the ad spend low for the first 30 days. Keep it at $5 to $10 a day for the first 30 days. Let the ads run, start to get some data behind it. And then once you start to see, hey, this is actually generating like only qualified leads, like I'm getting a good amount of qualified leads here, then you can start to crank up the ad spend and let the Facebook algorithm continue to do the work. So like these ads that we're showing here, they're generating highly qualified Medicare ads of people who want to talk to our agents about their Medicare options. We're getting great lead costs. And I believe that will continue to happen because the ads are so well written and they grab people's attention as they scroll. So they're going to continue to work. Now, we just have to wait a little bit longer for it to start working as effectively as we're used to them working. So, so that's what we can expect moving forward with the apps.
Yeah, it's going to bring up some interesting implications for some of our audience, because I know some of you love not just serving life insurance in general, like anyone can get life insurance, but some of you're like, oh, I love life insurance for young families. And that age range of maybe 22 to 35 is like, I have a passion for young people, and that's who I care about. You're going to have limited options to directly address those people. But again, the way you're going to do it is by changing the graphics, being very explicit with the text and imagery. Like this is very obvious if I see that image as a 65-year-old, and trusting, maybe if I'm not necessarily trusting Facebook's good nature and desire for my prosperity, I'm trusting that Facebook wants to make money, and I'm trusting that their algorithms are magical. I'm trusting that some of you've seen ads, you're like, whoa, are they reading my mind? Do they hear my conversations? It is amazing, just some hope and some encouragement. It is amazing and scary how good these algorithms are in detecting who wants these ads, who is relevant. Even just anecdotally, I watched a video on Instagram about house painting because we're looking into getting a house and it needs some painting. Now on Facebook, all of my ads are painting related. So it's amazing. Like it just knows, and it knows when you're in a buying sequence. It knows when you're in that action step. So if you're like, oh my goodness, like this totally sucks. It does suck a little, and it is going to cost more upfront to us as insurance agents, not me, obviously our users. But as your ads get out there, and maybe Alex, talk about expectations, because we get this all the time. People come in. We had one lady came in, launched an ad, and then the next day she took it down and quit the service because she's like, I didn't get any results. Talk to us about expectations. That's not an old thing. Or sorry, that's not a new thing. This is a ad thing in general. But what can we expect as we're generating leads or working with lead partners?
Yeah. So because of what we're experiencing with having to blast the ads out to everybody, you're going to have to just be a little bit more patient. So before, I would say, let the ads run for a week, put it on a low budget, put it on $10 a day, let it run for a week. Now, unfortunately, I think that timeline has to be extended for you to actually see some results. I would go from $5 to $10 a day just to get some engagement on the ad, just to see some, you're not going to get a lot of leads with that. Let's just be real. $5 to $10 a day for the first 30 days, you can expect, a couple leads a week at that price point, just to be honest with you guys who are watching this. But what's going to happen is the more leads that come in, the smarter Facebook's going to be. The more people engage with the ad, the smarter Facebook's going to be. And so, as you get to week 2, 3, 4, you can start to see that the lead quality is going to start to improve. More specifically, the engagement's going to start to improve. And so, I would say give it 30 days, overall before you mark a campaign as winning. Now, if you run it for, 2 weeks and at a, $10 a day budget, and you don't see a single lead, well, that's unfortunate. That shouldn't be happening with the Marketing Plus ads. But, Facebook is also figuring this out too, Will. Like, we had one of our users spoke to a Meta ads rep, and, the Meta ads rep was, they were asking questions like about how is this going to affect me? And the Meta ads rep was like, honestly, we don't really know. Like, we just put you guys into a special category. It took a while for us to kind of be able to help real estate agents as they adjusted to this, because real estate ads and employment ads are also under the special category. And so, they were like, it takes a while for us to be able to give you realistic expectations once these ads go live. And they said, now that insurance is under the same restrictive umbrella, we're going to have to figure this out. Like, we actually don't know what to tell you as far as expectations, which Meta is the only person that can get away with saying, keep spending money. We don't know what you're going to get from it. But, it's because they have such a monopoly on eyeballs, because Facebook and Instagram continue to be so popular. They can get away with saying, spend money and we hope it works out, But, and let's talk about that for just a second, Will, before we dive in. Like, why continue to advertise on Meta? Well, I'm good friends with a company that does pay-per-click ads on Google. And what we found was for an entire year, now this is one person doing research, so, take it as that. For an entire year, they were able to track about 3 million people looking for life insurance overall, 3 million. Break that down into 12 months, and you're looking at a few 100,000 people. So if you're on Google and you're running a pay-per-click ad, the entire size of your audience for life insurance is approximately 330,000 people a month, right? And that is everybody who's looking for life insurance across the entire nation. You're literally competing against, the big names who are trying to also win that click for life insurance. Now, if you're on Meta and you're targeting married men or women ages 22 to 35, what is that population, Will? Millions and millions of people, right? So the reason why Meta and Instagram are going to continue to work really well for insurance is because it uses interruption marketing to get people who are scrolling on their phones to then get curious about what it is that you're selling and then go to your landing page to learn more. Google's great for finding people who are in that buyer intent phase, but the number of people in that buyer intent phase is very, very small. And the cost to compete in that tiny pool is high, and it's only going to continue to get higher. And so Meta and Instagram are going to continue to work. We just have to now change our expectations as insurance agents and say, okay, what are we going to expect now from a new campaign once we start? Once we pull the trigger on go, are we going to be able to accurately grade it in a week? No, not anymore. Now you have to extend that out a little bit longer.
Yeah. And I'm even thinking as we're talking, we probably need to send a blast to our Marketing Plus users because we've always had expectation challenges. And as much as we've done to communicate, there's always been this, I want quick wins. I want wins now. And that's just part of our human nature. We love the easy, the quick, the shortcuts, the instant gratification. But part of building a winning business is having that long game perspective. Okay. Like some of the big changes that we've rolled out to our system took like 8 months for us to figure out. with coding, with some development partners. And, Alex, we kept wanting to push this out. You're like, hey, is it ready yet? Is it ready? There's this one feature, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. It's the long game and solving business problems for growth in 2025. Some of you need leads. It's like investing. Like, when is the best time to start investing? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to start investing? Today. And your investments, let's keep with the financial analogy, your investments accrue interest over the long run. And with lead generation, you start today. You should have started, let's say, a year ago. But the second best time to start is today, because you're going to take a little bit of time and understanding you're creating a lead generation engine. Let's use that term, a lead generation engine. Because that's a key part of growing your insurance business is the lead flow. There's other aspects, how do you close? How do you onboard? How do you nurture? But the lead generation, if you don't have a fresh flow of leads into your business is going to dry up. And so we're constantly, as a business, figuring out how do we generate insurance leads. Even these YouTube videos or these YouTube replays are one of the strategies both to nurture our existing users, but also if someone's watching this video on YouTube, you better bet we're throwing the sign up trial link below, because we ourselves need leads. So what is your lead generation engine? And it's going to take some time to build. It's not just a quick win strategy anymore. Even with lead vendors, they're going to run a new ad for you themselves. Yeah. And the new ad itself has to take some time. So I'm very curious. We're probably going to have some conversations with our partners just to understand how are you, if users of Agent CRM are not using Marketing Plus, we hope you do. But if you go to a lead partner, we want to have confidence that we're referring a trusted partner who knows how to dance around these new changes. It's a headache. It sucks. But again, we are looking at this in the long term of how do I build my lead generation engine, because I'm not going to be in business for just the next month. I'm going to be in business hopefully for the next 10, 20, 30 years, if depending on how old you are, maybe you want out sooner. The long game and doing this right, that's what we need to have, that mindset, a little bit of mindset coaching, because expectations are usually where people get frustrated and
Yeah. So we've talked about how we're going to be impacted by this, but there's another piece to the lead generation engine, Will, which I think we've done a really good job of solving, which is the follow-up when a new lead comes in. There was a conversation in our Agent CRM Facebook group this morning, and he was like, hey, we're generating leads, but they're just not showing up. And that's one of the areas that the branding bundles are going to help you in. And so if you're watching this for the first time, what's the branding bundle? It is a free collection of marketing assets that we have created for different insurance products. And so, one of the key parts of the branding bundle is what we call the new leads workflow. And there you go. So you can see our branding bundles. We are so proud of these. So we have just added a few more. We just added group benefits and infinite banking, which is super exciting. And so you can get these branding bundles. They'll be instantly added to your account. Which ones do you have in this account, Will? Which one can we go over? Which one's a good one?
I got a few here. One thing I'll say, branding bundles. Alex Branding, He really pioneered and dreamed these up. Often I get spell check correcting it to branding bundles, but actually they are branding bundles because they help to brand your business. So let's go in here. I think I have about 5 or more. We can let's go into the group benefits one.
Awesome. Let's go into the new lead piece. So when you get a new lead from Facebook, it's going to get dropped into this specific workflow here, which we have written out, not only emails, but also text messages. But it's not just about the communication that goes out. It's also about the organization of leads, which I'll get to after I go through the communication piece. So when a lead first comes in, it's all about speed to lead. They need to see that you are receiving their information, you are responding to their information, and you're giving them clear guidance on what the next steps are. So the text goes out and it's, hey, what's going on? Says, I have a few openings this week for a brief call on group benefits options. Reply with the time that works or book here. Boop. And it drops your calendar link. So we're giving them clear guidance on the next steps in this text message. Okay. Now, if they don't follow up, we are automatically hitting them up for the next, I believe, this is a 7-day workflow. Yes. So for the first week, we're hitting them hard. I have to do the math.
No, this one's actually, it's longer than that. Yeah.
Nice. 2 weeks. It looks like 2 weeks. So we're just hitting them on a regular basis. Just boom, boom, boom. Text and email. And so we want them to get on the calendar. Now, as soon as they schedule an appointment, we stop this specific workflow. We no longer send them messages saying, get on the calendar, because they've already done that part. They've already done what we've asked them to do to get on the calendar. Once they get on your calendar, then we use this appointment confirmation workflow. Now, I love this appointment confirmation workflow because we have seen such a huge uptick in the number of appointments that show up, which is great for our insurance agents that are generating leads. And so you can see some of the secret sauce in here. On the emails, we have specific photos for you to include of yourself. We give you little notes on what to do. And then we've written out the emails for you that get them on a calendar. And so now notice this is a Will really spearheaded this. Every single email throughout all of your branding bundles are customized with the logo and colors that you plug in on the customizer, which we're not going to show you right now, but just trust me, the customizer is a great tool. It takes you about 15 minutes to fill in all your information. And then every single email, every single website is branded and customized to your colors, your social media links, everything. So it's really, really cool. You don't have to learn how to change these colors. You don't have to go through and edit all of these emails. It's done once in the customizer. So, but when it comes to the new leads, go ahead.
Just want to, for some of you who are looking at this, you're like, why is it a little bit different? The standard appointments, there's just one sequence. The group benefits, super cool feature is that we actually have a calendar that recognizes, are you an employer or an employee? So that's kind of a cool thing, because if I am an insurance agent with group benefits, I want to sell to the employer. They're the one that's getting the group benefits package. However, if I sold to you as an employer, I want to sell to your employees as well. And we have a sequence that actually invites them and has a little bit of unique language, the extra policies or life or whatever. But most of the sequences, it's not like the branch. So that's just a little description. If some of you are like, what's going on?
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
So when the new leads come in, then you run them through the new lead workflow. Once they schedule an appointment, then they get all these texts and emails. But with any type of lead generation campaign, one of the things that you got to get really good at is being able to organize your leads. Mm-hmm. And we have helped you with that by creating pipelines across all the different insurance products. And so, you saw in Will's account, he had a bunch of different branding bundles. Let's assume that you have multiple products that you sell. You would have pipelines for each individual product that you sell. So you could see, what is my pipeline? How healthy is my business? And you'll be able to get a good visualization. Okay, cool. I got X number of new leads for group benefits. I got 2 appointments coming up for group benefits. You can switch pipelines, IULs. I got 3 people in the pipeline for that. I got 4 appointments on the calendar for IULs. So it gives you a good, quick view. How am I doing? Am I how's my revenue forecast for this month? Well, you can look at your lead flow and have a really good idea of what it's looking like. So that's a really quick, I think that's a good overview of what's going on with Meta and, how we help you manage your leads. We're going to go into this on a much more detailed level next week. with the leads waterfall webinar, we're going to give a free training on what are the ways that we can get around these restrictions. So there are ways that you can get around them, and I'm going to demonstrate them for you on our leads waterfall webinar next week.
Yeah. I think what's important to highlight, we want to cover that second part. Even though it doesn't directly deal with the changes in Meta, what it does deal with is how to optimize what you do get. If you get, maybe it's slightly harder and a little bit more expensive upfront to get more leads. But some of you got really cheap leads and they were great quality and they fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it didn't matter anyways. And part of the challenge here is optimizing your business by making sure that those cracks are sealed, that whether you're paying more or less, you are optimizing what you get. Optimizing by getting those appointments booked ASAP. Optimizing by ensuring that they show up for those appointments through reminders. Let's just cover some of the other ways here just to kind of overview, optimizing by getting referrals, doing cross-sells or renewals. That these are full automation sequences that we have so that I don't know what a lead, maybe it's a $10 lead. Maybe let's just say it's a $30 lead or $40. We're starting to get in a little higher cost territory here. But imagine if that $40, $50, $60 lead, I'm being ridiculous now. You should be able to get them much less than that, depending on your product. But imagine even if it was $60, but that $60 lead stuck with you, bought all the cross sells possible, renewed every year, brought in friends as additional requests. That's what we're talking about with optimizing. That at the end of the day, some of us, the lead cost or the lead strategy, it's almost a red herring. It's a distraction from other issues in your business. And we want to make sure to turn all the little dials so that, the changes on Meta, they don't really affect us too much. We understand the implications. We understand the expectations that need to change, but we're also doing everything else within our power to make sure that these resources are being used to optimize our value of our pipeline. Each individual client, we're not letting them slip through the cracks. Again, we're doing all the cross sells that we have the availability to do. We're doing great renewal campaigns. That's another thing to cover. Yep. Maybe we'll do the renewal funnel in one of the videos, but that's what Alex kind of showed us here in the automations is, so let's make sure that we're doing everything that's within our power. You can go off and complain for a little bit if you want to have a little gripe session at the regulatory powers. It might feel good then some of you have a baseball bat, go out and whack a tree for a bit. But after that, do take action with what you have the ability to do. And what I'll show quickly before handing it back to you, Alex, is on YouTube, we do have some sessions that really focus in on those individual workflows. When I talk about cross-sells, customize automated cross-sells. There's a video exclusively on the 6.0 Black. Let's just cover here. 6.0 Black product name cross-sell. There's exclusive videos on that. There's a video on the new lead campaign if you want to dial that in. So finding how do I optimize and how do I make sure, let's see if there's another one, ads crash course, client retention. If that's the challenge for you, if the leads are coming in and they cost higher or lower, whatever. I mean, not whatever, but you get the point. Do all the other things as well, and you're going to make sure that your business continues to thrive in 2025. That should be our
I love it.
Our motto there. So back to you, Alex.
I would love to, I don't really have anything else to add to this conversation. I would love to open it up to Charles and Christopher and see what questions you guys have while we're all in the same room together and see how we can help build your business. So let's first go to Charles. Charles, how can we help you? What questions do you have for Will and I? Hey, Charles, I'm not getting any audio. So I'll go to Christopher. Christopher, do you have any questions for us? How can we help build your business? Oh, Charles is there. Hey, Charles.
Yeah, you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, good. One of the reasons I was here today was for optimization of the Meta ads, because I have about 30 to 40, and because of I was differentiating a lot, I missed some of them. So I was looking for a way to restart those, all those that came in that I missed, and then give them in the email or the text statement that, okay, sorry for we missed you, but we still have time to please book an appointment where we can talk about your needs. Mm-hmm. Because I see what you're doing or what Meta trying to do, and that is money making. And it's not a problem if I, on my end, can optimize the leads and the projects that I have going out. Because I do have the bundles and I do have the Marketing Plus. And I see that as a plus. However, it will be a little more expensive. I can see that.
I'm just going to share a little context too for Charles and whoever's listening. Meta has so many wonderful problems with it. One of the issues that we had, I don't know if this is your issue, Charles, but there was an issue in the fall and in December maybe, where leads that you generated from your ad did not synchronize with your CRM. This was not an agent CRM issue. This was actually a Meta issue with them. Your leads were still there, but they were locked up in Facebook. So that might have been the issue. Does that sound?
It's possible. It's possible because my experience at how to track it is kind of limited. So so that I couldn't. I figured it was my fault, and I need to go in and reassert myself to make sure it's corrected.
Now, we'll blame. It might not be Facebook, but we'll blame Facebook because it's fun to get a little bit blamey. But one thing I will highlight, Charles, is that the Marketing Plus ad review sessions, this is one of the benefits, is that you can drop in Monday to Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, and Aga or Lee can help to make any of those adjustments. So that's one of the big resources because you will have troubleshooting. Alex might have some questions to get a more prescriptive response, but I would love to know how fresh or how recently did those leads?
That was most of December.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Yeah, you're still good, man, because they most likely have not finished making their purchasing decision yet, so you still have time to follow up with them. I would definitely recommend hopping into that review session, walking through the ads that you currently have up, and then saying, hey, I need help downloading the leads from Meta and uploading them into my agent CRM. And so it's not difficult, but it will require a couple of steps. So now, so that's what I recommend doing with my team. So let's talk about what to do once you have those leads. So you're going to want to upload all of the leads that are there, and you're going to want to tag them. And that tag would be, let's say you joined today, January 6th upload would be your tag.
Okay.
Then in your contacts, you're going to want to go into your contacts and you're going to want to filter. Right. You're going to want to filter and say, show me every single contact who is a January 6th upload and who is not. And then you can identify that if they are not in one of the workflows for new leads or could you do it based on if they're in the pipeline at all? Will, is that possible?
Yeah. You could filter by pipeline, but what I would do is, like you said, add the tag, because you're kind of doing it's not quite a reactivation. What you're sharing, the age of your leads, they're still, in my mind, super fresh. So you kind of could just put them right into the 2.0 lead campaign. Really all you'd have to do is add the tag, I think. You want to assign them to yourself as a user. That's important too. So probably I would just add them we do a lot of administration automatically in our system. Okay. So if you tag them, let's go here. The entry point to most of leads is not the nurturing sequence. It's actually a little bit of an admin automation.
Right.
And I'll show you here. Assigned to user, we want to make sure that you as a user are plugged in. That fills in the text messages. They say, hey, is Charles here? And if we don't have this step, then we can't send them that personalized message. We tag them ACA new lead, and then we add them to the campaign. So this here is just an administrative one. Okay. But what you would do is you'd and Ali or Aga, they'd be great to help out with this. But you're going to add that list to this campaign, and then they'll trickle into the new lead sequence. Okay. And then they'll start to get like, hey, thanks for reaching out for information. Let's get on a call. And because they're so fresh still, that message will hopefully still speak to a urgent or active desire. If they were older than a month, 2 months, we might suggest changing the tone of the language. The main thing is we don't want people to opt out. If people say stop.
Right. I only had one that did that, and he was emphatic. So we'll make sure we say, well, at any time you reconsider, just give us a call. Something real simple. Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Yeah. No, you're in a really easy position here. Our team can help you out for sure.
Okay, excellent. Glad to hear that. Yeah. Now, one final question. You started that new 3-month branding where we're taking the old leads to Revive. How is that affected by this new strategy now? Is that something we still going to be working with?
Are you speaking to the Revive Dead Leads campaign?
Right, Revive Dead Leads, right.
Mm-hmm. They're not dead yet, so I wouldn't put them in the Revive Dead Leads campaign.
Okay.
Yeah. They're still within the 30-day period, so they ain't dead yet. I think, plugging them into the branding bundle, that 1.0, what Will was showing you, then they're going to get tagged the right way and then dropped into what we call our 2.0. And so now they're going to get messages like, hey, you just filled out the form. That's the road to take. I would not use the reactivation campaigns or the Revive Dead Leads campaigns because they're not dead.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what's the age limit on the Revive? So now, just for my record,
I would say 90 days or older.
90 days older. Okay.
Yeah. So, but even those, though, Charles, one of the things that we're doing, if you look at the branding bundles after the 2 weeks go by, where they're in the new lead, then we actually put them in a nurturing sequence where they get an email from you every single month because we don't actually want them to be like dead. Right. And so what we found with the nurturing campaigns where they get those monthly emails is a lot of times that will bring people back just by they get an email from you so often and they're value filled emails. Okay. And so that's been working really well. When we created the branding bundle, one of the things that I was thinking was, how can I make it so that these leads never die? Right. In other words, how do they continue to stay, even if they're not hot? How can I keep it so that they're like at a warm state? You know what I mean? Where they know who Charles is. And so when Charles calls, because we recommend calling all these leads on a regular basis, right. They go, I know you. You've been emailing me for the past few months with all of those helpful emails about what life insurance is. Right. So, so that's one of the goals.
Okay.
I do want to get to Christopher here, but I want to say one last thing here about something you mentioned, Charles. We do have a strategy called Revive Dead Leads. This has been one of our best strategies that we've ever had. However, little asterisks, some of the changes to A2P and FCC regulations actually make this campaign not as easy to win with as they used to. Okay. Because what you're trying to do is blast to a list, text, email, voicemail drop, and try to drum up some latent interest. However, people can now text stop and it can damage your sender reputation. it's still a great training because it teaches you some foundational skills about building a very basic automation. However, in terms of its effectiveness, especially with lists that you might have purchased in the past, I think we've included some disclaimers now, and it's a strategy that we're coming out with new strategies that are going to be even more effective in today's regulatory.
And you brought up something that's really important. I have a list of old leads that I wanted to know that do CRM scrub them, or is the possibility of having them scrub once we import them into the CRM? Is that a possibility?
How old are they, Charles? How old are they?
I know I got one set as old as a year, but most of them are within 6 months or so.
Okay. And did they opt into your lead campaign, or did you buy them as a shared lead?
I bought them from other companies, and I used them, and they got 1,000 or more, but I didn't use all of them. So that's why I was wondering if I took those I didn't use and tried to import them into the CRM, do we have a policy?
I would only put them into your nurturing email campaigns.
Gotcha.
I would not text them.
Okay.
Or call them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
The lead nurture 2.5 sequence is email, and that's the lowest level of regulations that we experience at the moment.
Okay.
You could also take those leads and, with our team's help, create what we call a custom list inside of your Meta ads account. And then you could retarget them with an ad. However, we haven't seen much better improvement on lead cost using a custom audience as opposed to just the standard Facebook algorithm.
Okay.
So, but for now, I'd say send them the emails in the nurturing campaign. You'll be good to go.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you for the questions, Charles. Great questions.
Yeah. Great questions. Great question.
Hey, Christopher.
Oh, yeah. I had, you mentioned something about a Monday through Friday. You didn't mention the time.
Yes, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, if you are a Marketing Plus user.
Oh, Marketing Plus.
Yeah. We do help. We do a special group drop-in calls for marketing Facebook ads specifically. Marketing Plus resources, this is a special menu tab that the upgraded users get access to. And you can see here, schedule an ad review session. So if it's ad troubleshooting specifically, this is a feature of the upgraded plan. If it's just like automation stuff and you're like, I'm having trouble with an automation, we do have a separate drop-in call. That's the live Q&A. That one's all week, Monday to Friday, 7 till 1 and 2 till 6 Pacific. You can see here. So this one will...
That's for everyone. That's for everyone.
There's no extra cost. This is included with, but they're not trained in ads. So they don't help with lead generation. Simply giving you some troubleshooting assistance on the program.
Okay.
Great to differentiate that. Thanks for the question. Is there another question that we can assist with as we're wrapping up today?
And how do you join up for that extra plan?
For the extra plan, extras. So if you go to the menu, extras, and then account upgrades.
Okay.
Now there's all sorts of other third-party things like Kixi and Wave if you're looking for a multi-line dialer, Retire Flow if you're Medicare and you need a prescription thingy. Marketing Plus on the top left here, that's the shortcut.
Would Kixi eliminate me having to use my cell phone?
Agent CRM actually would eliminate your need for using your cell phone. However, Kixi and Wave have multiple outbound lines at the same time. If I have a list of 1,000 people, I can make 3 calls or 10 calls at a time, and I can blaze through that list much faster. Now, these are separate subscriptions. We don't own these. It's someone else, and it integrates with us. But the top row specifically, these are our offerings. We'll probably make it differentiated a little bit more clearly in the future.
So what is it? What is it that comes with the Agent CRM? It's one dialer?
You have a one-line dialer. Yeah. So you can call one person at a time.
And you're talking through the computer.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
You can have a phone app. There's an app you can use, so you can use your cell phone. I like using the app when I call, but you can call through the desktop that I'm viewing right now as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. And making those calls, that's a key. We talk so much about automation. We talk about AI, but you actually calling your leads manually, that's going to be one of the edges that you have on the competition. There's a lot of agents out there that I'm tempted to use the word lazy. I don't know if that's fair or not, but there's a lot of agents that just expect leads to fall into their lap. But those extra touches, yes, refine the automations, but making outbound calls or do dialing campaigns if you want to really, some of you are like heavy dialers and you know you need that multi-line, but start with what you're included with. Start with the system. It helps record calls, so you have a long-term retention of those conversations. You can do a power dialing session to work through the list. And then when you're ready and you want to do more calls, Bob on our sales team, he's experimenting with Kixi right now himself because we got a lot of contacts and we want to see who's floating around in that list and who needs help. We can work through our list much faster, but for lead generation specifically, extras, account upgrades, and then marketing plus.
Okay.
All right. I think we're right at the hour here. So this is a good time to land the plane.
Excellent call, Will.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Very informative, and I got a new direction.
Yes, thank you guys so much. And thank you for those who are watching the replay. Keep joining, keep telling us what you want to learn, and we'll create more content that helps to really set up this year for success. I really believe there's so much opportunity for those who are willing to put in the hard work, and we want to thrive with you guys. And we want to see you thrive. We want to see your families thrive. So do the hard work and you will reap the benefits. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day and rest of your week.